Okay, so yesterday, Hover and I went to a training, and one of the bigger things that was told to us, and some of you may have already heard about it, is our, I guess, contract with Read&Write. So this is available for all students, not just, the tiered kids or the kids that have oral admin or anything like that. Basically, what Read&Write does is it takes text and reads it, or you can read to it and it changes it to text. So I know a lot of students who could benefit from that. I played around with it a little bit today, along with some of the students. I was playing with it on their account through the Chromebooks to see kind of what it was on their side. And I will say that about 95% of it worked through the Chromebook. There was just a couple of issues that either it was user error or I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, Read&Write has been pushed through on all the Chromebooks in the district, and it's also available on the apps, but I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. I know some teachers have been using it for a little bit and are loving it. It's cutting down on their planning time, their oral admin. I know, like Coach, he records himself, like all his tests and quizzes, and then sends those links to his students who get those accommodations so that he's not having to do it in class. And basically what this is going to do is just take that job like off his to-do list completely. So like I said, on the Chromebooks, they're already pushed through, so you don't have to do anything. But on your laptop, what you're going to want to do is you're going to type in Read and Write extension, just like that. Read and Write extension. And basically it's one of those extensions that we've talked about earlier this year, like with the Internet Explorer, and then I have like an emoji extension, I have like Google Hangouts extension. But when you go to it, it'll say like add to Chrome or install or something like that. And since I've already done it, it says remove. So I have it, and it is that little purple RW puzzle piece. And basically it can take, from what I can tell, it can take most websites and read it to you. And then the kids can also, voice over whatever they want to say, and it'll type it for them. It also has a few other, I don't know, like cool tips, tricks, skills that it has, that I think are going to be great for all of our kids. One of them is that, if I can show you, like up here, it's like play, pause, stop. You can take a screenshot of something. That is actually a dictionary and a picture dictionary. So if I wasn't sure about a word, I can pull it up. All of these are just different annotating things, like highlighting, those kinds of things to make sure that the kids are like, actually reading it and that kind of stuff, teaching them those skills. What's also really cool is that it can change the language. So if you have one of those kiddos who just hasn't grasped English yet, it can read it to them in the other language. So there's really no excuse for them not to, do the reading passages, or they have an opportunity to learn from the same science book and all that kind of stuff, as long as it's digital. So once you have it, you can use it on a lot of different websites. I know that like Reading A to Z and News ELA, those already have like where it'll play it to you. But if I wanted to just pull up, like what I did today is I just took a random like PDF and put it into my Google Drive for my kids, my class, and they were like, you could listen to it. So I'm having issues with it with PDFs. Apparently that's not supposed to be an issue, but for me it was. But when you can say open with, and if you can either do Google Docs, which is super easy, and it'll open up in a Google Doc, like a Word document. I saw no issues with that. Some of the middle school and high school teachers said that they had issues because it took away the formatting. So if you had like certain columns or paragraphs that you wanted the kids to like actually see, that could be an issue. For us, I don't think that that's a major thing. The other option is the Read&Write for Google Chrome, which is working on my laptop, but that was not an option on the Chromebooks. I'm not sure if it's because it's a Chromebook or if that just is, again, user error. I don't know. Obviously, this is the best way to do it because it's their program, so obviously their way is going to work the best. So if I open it up through there, it always says about blank and then acts like it's not going to work, and then it does. And then you just seriously click play.
Eyes.
And you can click on random words, or you can just start from the beginning and say play.
The three billy goats gruff. Norway. Once upon a time there were three billy goats.
So you see that it's reading it.
To go up to the...
You can change, if you go over here to this little arrow and say options, you can change the speed. You can do the different translations, like English to whatever. The other thing I kind of liked was you could change the voice. So if you just, identify with a UK guy named Daniel, that may be for you. And you can have Daniel from the UK read it to you.
The three billy goats gruff, Norway.
Yeah, see, that's obviously so much better. Let's say I wasn't sure about what is this word. I can go up to the dictionary and it'll tell me the definition. All the different definitions. And then also some words are also in the picture definition. This one does not have one. It's a little bit harder, but let's see about goats. Is there a picture definition for that one? Oh, look, it's a goat. Now I understand.
Goats.
Goats. You can also do screenshots if you want to read just certain areas. For example, I pulled up from Think Central, I pulled up a math page and it was reading to me just fine, but when it had like different sections, if I wanted it to just read like step 2, then I went up here and I just said, just screenshotted that one section and had it read that. And it had no issues reading the equations. It was like 9 multiplied by 42 minus 52 or whatever it was. And it had it sounded just like what I would have said, except in a different accent. You can also do different vocabulary. Oh, gotta sign back in. Oh, maybe it's not gonna work. But for something else I was looking at, it like pulled up words that were gonna be a little bit harder, like cascading, that they may not know. So that was pretty awesome. I could also highlight things like, oh, this is the answer. I saw Mrs. Shara talking about that. You can also do...
The three billy goats gruff.
You kind of highlight
Norway.
what you want it to read or not read. You can pause it. You can have it repeated or translated. You can also type on things, put a push pin, kind of like a bookmark. So I thought that was really kind of interesting, so that you don't have to do oral admin for everything. Or the kiddos that really don't need it 100% of the time, but they do need just a little bit of extra help. You think that hearing it may help them. Go have them do it on here instead. Like, that's going to save you so much time, so much energy, and you're not having to pull back every single kid to give them this opportunity. And like I said, every kid has the option to do this. It is not, Keller's not being stingy with it, which is awesome. And like I said before, if I was to just go to like Google Docs, and I can type in there, oh gosh, I'm going about it like the worst way possible. And I did it through here. And then it would take my words and then...
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, that sounds exactly like me. Perfect. Which is really awesome because I think a lot of times kids are like, oh, it sounds perfect. No editing, revising needed. And sometimes they just need to hear it out loud. They also have this little thing. It's like kind of like a magic 8-ball, I think it's supposed to be. And it's prediction. So it will predict kind of words that typically come after that. So if I was talking about the 3 goats. And it'll kind of like finish out the words for me. If I'm like, well, I know it starts with a G-O, but I'm not really sure where to go from there. And a lot of times those dictionaries are not kid-friendly. That is also like another bonus to that. It will hopefully increase their typewriting, their speed on that. So that's just another tip, trick from Keller ISD. There you go.